As I mentioned in the first video, in-text citation is one of two citation methods. In-text citation happens immediately after you use someone else's idea, and it leads your reader to your references page where they can learn more about the source. In this presentation, we will discuss the basics of APA in-text citation. In-text citation starts before you even use the borrowed information. You need to first make it clear that you are about to use someone else's idea with a signal phrase. So, for example, you want to start your sentence by saying according to, or the author states, and then include the idea. When you don't do this, it's called a drop quote, and the flow of your paper will be disrupted if you just begin a quote in the middle of a paragraph without any context. The next thing you need to include is the piece of information that you want to cite, either in a quote form or in your own words. And you need to remember that even if you put it in your own words, it's still someone else's idea and you need to give credit. The three pieces of information you need for an in-text citation are the author's last name, the year of publication, and the page number. The year is always written out in 4 digits. If you are citing one page, use P period. If you're using 2 or more pages, use PP period. And for a source with no page numbers, you will need to count the paragraphs and use the abbreviation PARA period. Now the order that you include these pieces can change, but here's an example. Craig Belanger writes, results from multiple small studies suggest an association between exposure to or playing video games and negative actions such as aggressive thoughts and aggressive behaviors. 2017, paragraph 22. In this example, the author's last name is stated at the beginning in the signal phrase, so we can check that piece off of the list, and then what's left to include is the year of publication and the paragraph number, both of which are put into parentheses at the end of the sentence. This is just one example of how the citation elements are included. You can change where they go based on the style of your sentence. So in this next example, the year is included in the signal phrase, and the author's name and paragraph number are at the end in parentheses. And the next example, the year and the name are in the signal phrase, so that all that's left to go in the parentheses is the paragraph number. Depending on your writing style and the flow of your paper, you can change the order of these things around, but you need to make sure that they are all included. The one thing that does have a strict order is the punctuation. At the end of your sentence, if you're using a quote, you'll first need to include the end quotation mark. Next, you will put the citation information in parentheses, and then put the period at the end of the sentence. This is something that many students don't get right. The period is always going to be the last piece when you're citing. Next up, you'll learn about how to format the page of an APA paper.